Well, you know, back when I first started, there was only one type of training being done with dogs and one type of behavior. It was this whole concept of, I'm the boss, you're the dog, do what I say or you're going to get whacked with a newspaper. It's ridiculous. Just calm down. And I said to myself, you know, I've yet to see one beagle hit another beagle with a newspaper. Or when they did something right, they'd stick a milk bone in their face or a biscuit. I've yet to see one dog give another dog a biscuit. So I said, you know what? When a dog does something right, what do the other dogs do? It's mine, guy. No, it's mine. I just study their behavior. They go over and they kind of nudge each other and play with each other. So I decided to, you know what? Hugs and kisses, that is the way to go. They want this toy.
They
so,
want
see what I mean?
Tug of war.
That's what I mean. You want this one? So I started working with all these dogs, and I just said to myself, this is the right way to do it. It's none of your concern. You just watch that dog go by peacefully. If you focus on the positive, there's no need for the dog or the cat or whatever animal I'm working with to do the negative. Nowadays, everyone focuses on the negative. It's no, 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 no. The poor dogs, you say no, they come thinking it's their name. So I took a positive approach, and it's really worked. But you know what? It's never the problem with the pet. It's always the problem with the people. In other words, what I'm trying to say, Milana, is the dog is outsmarting you. Okay? And I really think what I do is a combination of pet shrinky stuff. All right, let's lay down together. Let's have a little talk here. And I mean this seriously. But it's like really animal social work. Because I'm going into the home and working with the entire family. I believe that I can analyze a dog and look at the dog for 5 or 10 minutes and tell you more about yourself or more about the person who lives with that dog by the dog's behavior. Mommy has it. Mommy has it. Yeah, Mommy has it. You want this one?
Which one are you going to get?
I don't need to thank you. All I need is the wag of a tail. Cisco, who I absolutely adore. This is a 150-pound dog in a 10-pound suit, okay? I love to ride my motorcycle. It is like my pastime. Other than animals, it's the motorcycle. And very often when I start the motorcycle, you know what a Harley-Davidson sounds like. It's pretty noisy. But Cisco, when he hears the motorcycle start, he knows I'm leaving. So he gets a little blue, a little depressed. So very often what I'll do is like 5 or 10 minutes before I take off, I'll just sit on the motorcycle with the engine off. I'll have Cisco on my lap, and Cisco will just sit there with me for a couple of minutes on the motorcycle. And then I'll bring him back into the house, and he appreciates it. Susan emailed about her dog Buster. Said Buster is an incredible dog, except that he's destroying her home inside and out. He's digging, he's chewing, he's just being a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to make a house call. We're going to go inside, we're going to meet Susie, we're going to meet Buster, and I'm going to resolve these problems. So Susie, I understand you're having some problems with your dog Buster. Why don't you tell me about them?
We got Buster in August, and he couldn't have been here more than 2 days, and he started just chewing up everything in the house. At night, when everybody's kind of disappeared from up here, and he would chew the sofas, he'd get up on the counter in the kitchen and chew and find pills, find food, find anything that was up there.
You brought him home, and the first night, what was his reaction?
Well, he slept with my son in the bed, and he absolutely took over the whole bed. He loved that. But then when he's just too big for the bed because he tries to lie on top of you.
Did you ever consider having your son sleep on the floor and the dog sleep on the bed?
Yeah, it would have been better, probably.
That's a good idea.
I had 2 nice dog beds here. Buster has taken them outside and completely destroyed them.
There's 4 reasons why dogs chew, okay? And all of them I'm going to blame on you. Not all of them, but some of them, okay? Number 1, if they're young, they're teething.
Yes.
And when you say teething, people say, but my dog's older, why is he still teething? But very often what happens when you have a dog that's teething till he's 5 months old, they go through what we call latent psychological teething. If it isn't corrected properly, they're teething not because their gums hurt, because in their head they still hurt. So that's one reason. The second reason a dog will chew is because they're totally bored.
Right.
The third reason is lack of exercise. And the fourth reason a lot of people have no idea about is sometimes if there's a deficiency in the dog's diet, especially a mineral like sulfur, they're going to chew. All of those reasons are not why your dog's chewing, okay? Some of the resolutions may be tied into that, but I'll tell you why your dog's chewing. Dogs, when they're feeling insecure and they come into a new environment, are very orally fixated. People use their hands, they scratch their head, they crack their knuckles. It's anxiety. To alleviate anxiety, dogs chew. The problem is Buster has no idea of what to chew and what not to chew. So basically, by correcting the dog for chewing and saying no bad dog for chewing, what you're saying at that point is simply don't chew, but you're not telling him what to chew. My approach, and what we're going to do with Buster, is teach him what to do. So rather than focus on what not to do, we're going to focus on what to do. I can tell you from what you were telling me, you don't have a dog that is a problem chewer. You just have a dog that really doesn't know how to differentiate what I should chew and what I shouldn't chew.
Exactly.
So it's going to be up to us to make his environment so interesting and his items that he can chew so different than your items that eventually your items will be yours. Brianna can have her shoes, you can have your Victoria bras, whatever, and Buster can have his own toy. So we're going to work on that.
Okay.
We're going to resolve the chewing problem. We're going to work on this. We're going to resolve this.
But he's so lovable.
He is lovable. And the more lovable he is, the easier it is for me to resolve the problem. Piece of cake. We got this thing. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Today I'm here to help out Buster. He's a chewer. He's a digger. There's a few other problems we have to resolve. As you can see, when I say chewer, I mean chewer. The only way to resolve this problem is to look at this house not from my point of view, not from the owner's point of view, but from Buster's point of view. So I'm going to get down on my hands and knees. If you can see under here, look at this. This dog is chewing everything. But again, nothing for Buster to play with. We're going to take a look a little bit further. Everything right here is at Buster's height. So if there's nothing here, Buster may go look up here. And then Buster's looking around. He sees out the window. Maybe there's another dog. He gets excited, comes over here. Oh, what a great basket. And nothing again to play with, so maybe I'll chew a little bit of Martha Stewart, or maybe I'll chew a little bit of this, or chew a little bit of that. I'll crawl over here. Again, nothing for the dog, only stuff that he shouldn't be chewing. Looking around, still looking for that dog toy. Some handiwork of the Buster Man. A little chewing over here, ripping this apart. Well, Susie, this may sound a little strange to you, but I think what you really need to do is you need to take a look at your house, not from your point of view, but from Buster's point of view. So do you have a problem crawling around on the floor?
No.
Okay, so, hey, down. Let's do it. I want you to get down on all fours. Seriously. I want you to come over to this corner with me.
Okay.
Okay? And we know that Buster chewed over there, right?
Correct.
Look on the floor. What was his option?
Well,
shame on
nothing.
Susie. Come with me, Susie.
Come on.
A paper plate.
Yes.
Again, what's Buster's choice? Oh, you're such a
Nothing.
You're such a
Nothing.
You're such a bad mom.
I know. I'm feeling terrible now.
As well you should, but we're going to resolve it. Again, up here you notice that everything here is perfect Buster level. Again, what's on the floor? Nothing for poor Buster. Baskets, magazines, all of this stuff is perfect Buster material.
When Warren asked me to crawl on the floor, I thought it was a little crazy. If he knew Buster and how he and the other dog play with all the toys, I've thrown them all outside, and I prefer them to play outside. I learned that I guess I don't have any toys for him on the floor, and I'm going to put some toys on the floor and see what happens. When Warren asked me to do that, I thought it was a little crazy, but I understand what he was trying to do. I've listened to Warren a lot on the radio, and so I understand how he solves problems.
Okay, so here's what I mean about teasing the dogs, okay? Sorry, guys, you put the toy in your mouth.
Okay.
It's mine, guys. No, it's mine. You can't have it. It's mine. Can't have it. It's mine. They want this toy.
They
So,
want
see what I
that
mean?
tug of war.
That's what I mean. You want this one? You can have that one. And you know what? I have another one for you, but you can't have it. You know why you can't have it? Nah. This is mine. Whoop yourself. This is my favorite of all of them. Okay, you can have this one, and you can have... But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Get them to the point where they really, really want it.
Yeah.
Susie, we spoke about your dogs. You feeling more confident now?
Yes, I do.
See that there's a light at the end of the tunnel?
Yes, for sure.
I got to tell you that. I fell in love with your dogs. They're such an incredible group of dogs. I can tell you really love them. They get a lot of attention. They just need a little bit more mental stimulation, and they're going to be smart. So the next time I come here, there's not going to be anything chewed. You're going to have, like, the perfect dogs, right?
Great. Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
So.
So we'll see you again. Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're here today to see John and Akiko's Puli, Butchie. I understand Butchie is terrorizing the entire neighborhood. So we're going to take a look at Butchie. We're going to speak to John and Akiko. We're going to take a look at some of the dogs in the neighborhood, and we're going to make this neighborhood friendly for everyone, humans and dogs alike. Okay, John. Okay, Akiko, I'm at your house. You wrote me a letter that you're having a problem with your dog. But what are the type of problems that Butchie is having living with you two?
He is a disobedient, loving dog. He'll jump up and he'll go charging down the hill, and he just barks, and just is horrible. Like he's a different kind of animal.
So I was lucky enough to work with the Pulis in Europe, and it's an incredible breed of dog. It's a Hungarian sheepdog, basically. And whenever you have a herding breed of dog, when they come into a home and they really feel comfortable there, instinctively you become their sheep and they want to protect you. So when they feel there's any invasion at all, their first reaction is, okay, I better let them know that I'm here.
He just goes bonkers.
Is it a or is it a Okay, well that's good, because the different sounds, the deeper the bark, the more aggressive the dog is. Now, I'm looking at him pretty carefully, and I'm watching him carefully. I haven't seen his reaction yet. Sometimes what happens is a dog at this age will get into a frenzy where they don't know what they're doing. And so one of the ways to resolve that, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but one of the things I'm going to focus on is when the dog is in a frenzy, there are certain things that we can do to grab him back to reality and get him back in his body and get his focus in another direction. It's not aggressive behavior. In other words, the tail is in a I want to play posture. The tail is in he can't figure out why he's there and he's here. But it by no means is this aggressive behavior and can easily be resolved. If this dog was being aggressive to that dog, okay, I mean real aggressive, even though that's a Springer, and I love Springer Spaniels, he would pick up on it. And the body language of that dog would be different too. So he realizes that this one, that Butchie, is a pain in the butt. But at the same time, the dog also realizes that it's totally not a threat. Because when a dog feels threatened, they're not going to react the way this dog's reacting right now.
John usually walks him because he's too much for Akiko to handle.
And what's your dog's reaction when he's off his when Butchie is off his property? What's your dog's reaction?
Pretty much the same, but I mean, John usually sees us coming, and he tries to drag Butchie around the corner so that she's out of sight.
Come on, none of your concern. None of your concern. Let's go. What a good dog. None of your concern. Nothing for you to be bothered about. That's a good puppy. It's none of your concern. You just watch that dog go by peacefully. What a good dog. Okay, we got it.
I've never seen Butchie respond that way, so it's pretty amazing that we walked just a couple of feet away from Butchie, Dinah and I, and his reaction was perfect. He just sat still.
I'm really amazed and astounded. First of all, the talent that he has to be able to convey, the information that he knows regarding animals. Of course, we learned a lot. We're very happy, and I'll tell you, this man is a pro.
Hi, Helen. How are you?
Hi, Warren. Nice to meet you.
A pleasure. Let's take a look at your cats and see if we can help you out.
Love
or
to.
help your cats out.
Thank you.
I want to find out why your cats are having such a tough time living. First of all, you have two.
Yes.
What are their names?
The older one is Gannon. He's 4 months older, and the smaller, younger one is Bailey.
Okay, so let's take a look at this, even before we go any further, because I got a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
The larger one that you got first is the aggressor.
Is the aggressor.
The smaller one that was sick at the shelter is the one that's more submissive.
Correct.
When would you say that the first disagreement took place?
A few months after they were introduced.
Okay.
At first, they were getting along, and Gannon had been interested in Bailey. The whole 4 months she was isolated, he would stand by the door and cry. He wanted in. I would say Gannon is jealous of Bailey. They have two different diets. And so she wants his food, he wants her food, and when he sees that she's getting the food that he wants, that gets him agitated.
You know, your sister's cookie always tastes better than yours. You know, it's no different than animals. You know, what the other one has is always better than what we have. Any good therapist will tell you, when in doubt, blame mom. But there's more going on here, because I think what's happening is when you see them going at it, your first instinct is to jump in and protect the little guy, which actually creates more animosity. Sometimes leaving it alone, as hard as it may be, is the way to approach it. When they're being aggressive like that, what you need to do is, your first impression is, let me separate them. That's the worst thing you can do, because the minute you separate them, you're telling them that there was a reason there was aggression in the first place. So that's where you really have to come in. But everything being said here, from what I've seen on the video, we don't have an aggressive cat. Aggression is aggression is aggression. He's insecure. That insecurity is creating the aggressive behavior. So what we're going to do is we're going to build up his confidence. Your problem should be totally under control. You'll send me the champagne and I'll adjust my halo, okay?
I'll send you anything you want.
There you go. Let's go take a look at the cats, okay? All right, so let's take a look at Gannon. Hi, Gannon. Let's take a look at Gannon. Gannon, right down here. Hi, Gannon. Helen, if you can just leave the room so I can have some private time with Gannon. First of all, what I'm doing right now is just touching. Touch is very, very important for cats. So I'm getting the feel, because Helen had said to me that Gannon is very fearful of people. Yet what I'm seeing right now, it's kind of what I was indicating to her outside, that he is totally a bully. Because now that I'm holding him and I'm kind of massaging him and playing with him a little bit, he's kind of mellow with me, you know, and that's kind of interesting, the behavior. So it tells me that it's not a frenzied behavior. It tells me that it's a behavior that can easily be resolved. I think I hit the nail on the head when I say, once we build up his confidence and also get a little weight off of him also. You know, sometimes when a cat, now this cat is 17 pounds, the average cat should probably weigh in the neighborhood of 10 or 12 pounds. So he's like pretty heavy, and once we get that weight down, first of all, he's going to feel more comfortable. Second of all, sometimes when you have a cat that's overweight, when they get up, it hurts them, you know, the bones or whatever. So sometimes just getting that weight off is part of it. But I'm telling you, I'm learning an awful lot about this cat just by touch. Touch is such an important thing. Right now, the most important thing I'm doing is getting him accustomed to being held and touched by a stranger. The other thing I'm doing is feeling for any tenseness in his body. There's no real tenseness here. Let me put it this way. If this was a problem cat versus a cat with a problem, then he would be all tensed up at this point. Even his aggressive behavior is really not a frenzied or crazed aggression. It's a kind of like, I know I could bully this cat, so I'm going to show her. So this is definitely resolvable. I'm really, really glad to be able to at least pick him up, hold him, and he's always afraid of people. So in other words, I'm going to put him in a high place now, and the reason I'm going to do that is to kind of make him feel more comfortable. He's almost catatonic now. When he goes to move, the minute I touch him, he stops. This is fear on his part. And the fear on his part is what's making him try to dominate his sister. He's afraid of everything else in the world. So this is what we got to work on. I'm so glad I saw this. Now we're going to take a look at the other cat, and we're going to put them together. You ready, Gannon? You ready? All right, let's do it. What I'd like you to do right now is can you put him right on top of here with the other cat? See, and I'm watching him very, very carefully. He can barely fit through that hole, huh? If I say so myself, I am a miracle worker.
And usually he'll take the top position.
Oh, remember what I said to you before? Think about what I was saying. Exactly. The higher a cat is, the more dominant he is. Now, I've been in this room and I showed him, not by being dominant, but just by being calm around him, that there's no need to be dominant around me. So he's quite content not being the top cat. Now, that doesn't mean he's submissive to her, and that doesn't mean when I leave he's not going to go back into his routine. But if you were to do this and end on a positive note like this every single day, eventually the problem's going to disappear. There's no way in the world that they should not get together and be sleeping whisker to whisker.
Thank you, Warren. I appreciate all your help today.
Helen, it was my pleasure. First of all, it was a pleasure meeting you and your cats. Follow my advice. I'm sure it's going to work out great for you. Give me a hug.
I will.
And give the cats a hug for me. Call me in a couple of weeks.
Bye-bye, Warren.
Bye-bye now. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Warren. Thanks for coming.
Glad to see you. I'm here to work with you and Shaden.
Great.
And we're going to make this the perfect dog owner household. You ready?
Fantastic. Great. Let's go.
Lori, I know I'm here to help you with your dog, but first of all, who is this?
Well, that's my dog,
That's your dog?
Yeah.
Is that the one who's having the trouble?
Yes.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about it? I don't really know a lot about what your problem is, so tell me exactly what's going on.
She's 4 years old, and I'm having a lot of trouble getting her socialized with other dogs. Not people, other dogs.
Other dogs out on the street, other dogs at the dog park, other dogs coming onto her property.
She's a good watchdog, but I've been trying to socialize her and taking her to a park on Sundays with some other very friendly dogs, and they just chase her and she runs away.
So it's really a passive on her part. She's not aggressive to them?
It started out that way, and the next couple months now she's becoming aggressive.
When you assume that she's being aggressive, where is her tail?
Oh, it's up.
It's up. Okay, her ears?
If it's real bad, her ears go back and she gives the growl. She's trying to let the other dog know
Deep
to stay
growl?
away. I haven't heard much growl, really.
Okay, okay, but
More
the
of a-
ears will go
yip.
back sometimes? Any point where she sees another dog where she rolls on her back and
Never.
exposes her belly?
And never lets another dog smell her.
Really? Especially in the back?
Yes, that's what I
Okay,
mean.
so she's not really displaying dominant behavior. It sounds to me like she's just really unsure. I know this is going to sound a little weird, but dogs go through the same emotional states that we do. And people say, well, it's just a dog, Warren. How can they go through emotional states? But they've been living with us since we've been walking upright. So the anxieties and the stresses and emotions we have, they have. Depression, for example.
My whole life revolves around her. I get up at 4 in the morning, take her to the park, make sure, do all these other things. But there's some time that I maybe might want to take her to doggy daycare or something, and I don't feel comfortable that she's socialized enough to do that.
Do you think that part of the reason might be your feeling of discomfort that might be creating more of her angst?
Yes, and I know they can
So
sense
you
that
tighten
from
up a little bit and you'll feel that, and then she'll react. What if you went to a doggy park with, let's say, a 10 or a 15-foot leash and just stayed away from the dogs? Have you tried that at all?
No.
That's one of the things I'm going to recommend.
Okay.
A lot of people don't, people don't realize that when you have a dog on a 6-foot leash, that 6-foot area now becomes that dog's territory, and that dog's going to be very protective over that territory. That's why very frequently you can have a dog that growls at other dogs, yet you take this leash off in the doggy park and they're best friends because that leash is really a trigger point. Do you think that your dog is depressed, confused?
I think she has been depressed. I think it's starting to get a little bit better.
Dogs have the same emotions, the same personalities, the same loves, the same hates that we have, and it's really important, and that's why I'm so glad to be here, and that's why I'm here, because I recognize the fact that you're so emotionally involved with your dog that your main concern was not for you, but your main concern is, what can I do to make my dog feel better? So why don't we do that? Why don't we make your dog feel better? You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
do it.
Hey, Shaden, how are you? Hi, Shaden. What a good pup, huh? Hi. Get a good sniff. I'm just part of the family. Yeah, just part of the family. It's just me. It's just me. Now, is Shaden this friendly with everybody, people-wise?
Not really. She's quite a sniffer, though.
Are you a sniffer? Shaden, are you a sniffer?
She's pretty friendly, people-oriented friendly, but I think she kind of gets a good vibe from you.
Are you my bud? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at the dog, and he just wants so much affection. No, that's okay. Come on, Shaden. Come on. That's my puppy. Come on, Shaden. Come on. What a good puppy. Come on, Shaden. Shaden, what are you doing? Hi, pup. Shaden. The reason I got down on my belly is I wanted to be below Shaden, and I'm noticing that Shaden's really, really inquisitive. Have you ever tried massaging your dog?
Yes, little doggy massage.
Well, I want to see you do it. Okay, see if you can massage Shaden.
Shaden, down.
Go to Mommy, Shaden. It's time for a little massage. The reason I want you to massage her is I want to watch her body language, because everything that a dog is thinking comes out in their body.
She doesn't relax as much as she used to, like she won't roll over on her back anymore. And that's part of when she greets another dog. She won't lay down at all.
She would roll over on her back in a submissive posture. There's only 2 reasons a dog exposes their belly. A dog will expose their belly if they're totally submissive and say, okay, kill me, you win. Or if they're totally confident about the people they're with. Will she expose her belly with you?
Not
as much.
Not anymore.
All right, Shaden. Come on, Shaden. Come on. Where's my puppy? Where's my good puppy? Yeah, good puppy. Good puppy, Shaden. Good puppy. Give me 5. Give me 5. Want to shake hands? I'm doing this on purpose because this is a sign of dominant behavior with the dog.
Well, when they paw you?
Yeah, when the dog...
I have noticed her do that with me.
That's a sign of dominance. You ever notice that when a dog goes to another dog, when the first thing it does is take his paw and put it over? That's a sign of dominant behavior. Here's what we really need to understand about Shaden. Number one, to build up her confidence, the massaging every day. I think that's real important.
So that builds her confidence?
Yeah, because what happens is that the feeling, the touch. But I don't only want you to massage her. I think if you can have friends come over or you know people that'll touch, she needs her mind so occupied. She needs, do you call her during the day?
No.
See? You should call her on the phone during the day. Hey, Shaden, I'm at work. I'll be home at 5. I know it sounds crazy.
Oh, and the answering machine. I was going to say, how does she answer the phone?
That'll break up the absolutely.
Okay.
Don't worry till she answers, okay?
Okay.
If there was any aggression, it would be coming out now. When you take a dog's 2 front paws and put them together, that's where aggression would come out. So we have no aggressive behavior with her. I'd like to see her reaction around another dog. Now, you also said she won't let other dogs sniff her in the butt area.
Right.
Do you know why dogs sniff each other in that area?
Well, isn't that how they get to know?
Well, it's like them Googling. It's Yahoo for your dog, okay? Your dog is
Yahoo.
surfing the web. All the information your dog needs is in the butt of the other dog. Gives him the food supply in the area, gives him the sexual information about the other dog, and all the pheromones and a lot of other things. The fact that she's not letting the other dog sniff her, and I'm sure she let the dog she lived with sniff her, she's not letting the other dog sniff her, it's a whole change in her behavior. We don't want to change her behavior, but we want to let her go through the stages of the grieving that she's going through.
Okay.
So this behavior is okay for now, but we got to start a little bit at a time, getting her focused in a different direction, introducing her to dogs on neutral territory, on a walk, not at a doggy park. It may be too stressful for the doggy park.
I think I learned today from Warren that when I got down and Shaden and I were playing on the floor and I had my butt up like dogs do and being happy and stuff like, I think she enjoyed it and she focused on me, and of course I enjoyed it because I like playing with my dog.
Well, Laura, it was really a pleasure meeting you and Shaden. I hope you follow my advice because it's a great dog and you're a great lady, and if you follow what I suggested, I'm sure it's going to work, and if you have any questions, you can always give me a call.
Thank you so much for helping me out.
It's my pleasure. I'm not going to take you.
Come on, I'm giving you a hug.
There you go.
Thank you, Warren.
Give him a hug for me, okay? Thanks. Bye, Laurie.